ask that I just make a couple opening remarks, and because I can sometimes be long-winded, it's going to be a tiny bit more than just an opening remark, and I hope that that's okay. So first off, welcome. This is Law Day 2025, and for those of you that don't know, this year's theme is the Constitution's promise out of many, one. And we're just going to take a couple minutes and reflect on the ideals that shape our profession and our democracy. So this theme calls us to remember that law is more than statutes and precedent. It's a unifying force forged in diversity and grounded in the enduring promise of constitutional democracy. From its very inception, the U.S. Constitution was both a radical and pragmatic experiment, uniting 13 distinct colonies into a single republic under law. It was born out of compromise, ambition, and vision, but it was also incomplete. It left many outside its initial protections. That's why the story of the Constitution is not only about what was written in 1787, it's about what we have added, challenged, interpreted, and fought for ever since. The Bill of Rights, ratified in 1791, was our first collective statement that liberty requires limits on government power. That speech, religion, due process, and trial by jury are not privileges, but rights. Later, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments sought to fulfill the Constitution's promise for all, abolishing slavery, defining citizenship, guaranteeing equal protection, and protecting the right to vote. These amendments fundamentally reshaped our legal landscape, and yet the promise they held often demanded continual enforcement and reaffirmation in the courts and in our society. The 19th Amendment finally secured women's right to vote. The 24th struck down poll taxes, and the 26th expanded suffrage to 18-year-olds. Each amendment is a marker of progress, and each time we've demanded more of the Constitution, it has asked more of us. Because the promise out of many one isn't automatic. It requires work. It requires commitment. It requires each of us as citizens, lawyers, judges, students, neighbors to protect that promise. In a time of deep division and political polarization, our role as guardians of the rule of law is more vital than ever. The Constitution's promise of unity out of many one is simply not a guarantee. It's a charge. And that charge demands we protect access to justice, ensure due process, and confront inequities that persist within our system. So today, as we honor Law Day, let us recommit ourselves, not just to the letter of the Constitution, but to its spirit. Let us advocate for fairness, champion equality, and uphold the rule of law in both the courtroom and the community. The Constitution's promise is enduring, but only if we, its legal custodians, ensure that it is.
And now we have the annual presentation of the Liberty Bell Award. And Ms. Tang, I believe you were instrumental in nominating, so perhaps you would like to make that presentation.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thanks to all of you for helping us celebrate Law Day. As Judge Jip said, it's a day when we reflect on the vital role of the rule of law in our society, and we recognize those people that advance justice in some extraordinary ways. Each year, the Liberty Bell Award is presented to a member of our community who has made outstanding contributions to the cause of justice and the functioning of our legal system. Somebody who embodies the spirit of civic responsibility, dedication, and service. Today, it's my great honor and privilege to present the 2025 Liberty Bell Award to Carol Carr.
Oh. We'll take note. We'll go back and take notes.
Carol started in the legal community at Sheridan and Sheridan back in, and I should have asked, the 1980s.
1988.
1988. 33 years ago, Carol joined the court as a judicial assistant to Judge Stephen Sheridan.
34 years ago.
34 years ago. Carol's commitment to access to justice is impactful. She spent countless hours assisting members of the public in navigating the often complex and overwhelming court system. Whether someone is facing a housing issue, family matter, criminal case, or civil concern, Carol has always been a calm and knowledgeable and compassionate presence, helping people understand the situation and finding their way through the legal process with dignity. Since the inception of our problem-solving courts, she has been there, not just as a supporter, but helping shape them into the innovative, humane, and effective institutions that they are today. Whether it's drug court, sobriety court, veterans court, Carol has helped ensure those programs are more than just alternatives. They're pathways to recovery, accountability, and to renewed hope. But Carol's service doesn't stop there. She has been a guide to new attorneys, generously sharing her wisdom, her time, and unwavering sense of professionalism. She's helped shape the next generation of legal minds, instilling in them the same commitment to justice, public service that she herself embodies. When there's a need in district court, anywhere, anytime, you'll find Carol there. She steps in whenever she's needed, often without being asked, and always without seeking recognition. Whether it's assisting a busy courtroom, helping with case processing, or simply making sure that things run smoothly, Carol's dedication ensures that our courts function with integrity and efficiency. In every one of these roles, Carol Carr has been a pillar of our legal community, a quiet force for good, and a true guardian of justice. Carol, on behalf of the entire legal community and those whose lives you've touched, many of whom may never know your name, but will always feel the impact of your work, it is my distinct honor to present you with the 2025 Liberty Bell Award. Congratulations and thank you. Would you like to say something?
Total surprise. Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. My great pleasure. And I'll be retiring at age 90. 16, 17 more years.
Good to have you for that long.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you. I'm going to turn this over to Judge Belarjan. I believe he has a scholarship to present.
I do. Just that you mentioned that she assisted, she always, and I witnessed this, she assists new attorneys navigating the system, but way back before the memory of man runneth not, she also did a really great job of assisting a new judge taking the bench too, and making sure that I actually put my robe on before I got on the record. So thank you, Carol, well deserved. All right, every year, the William and Agnes Belarjan Foundation presents a scholarship honoring the late Judge Corselia. Many of you have practiced in front of Judge Corselia. I had the honor of being a benchmate with Judge Corselia for a year and a half in the circuit court, and then for a couple of years while I was here in district court as well. But let me tell you, he was he had a wonderful dry sense of humor, but he was a very difficult and should we say demanding judge to practice in front of. And many people, I think, took that impression of him as his personal attitude, but it was not. He was a very loving person. He was strict in the courtroom because he believed very strongly in the law. In many of the precepts that Ms. Tang referred to in her statement, Ms. Tang as well, that Judge Jip referred to in the precepts of the Constitution, the things that we need to do to continue to fight and to uphold and work to make sure that these aren't simply words written on a page, but everybody needs to do their homework. So my husband, Brent Leonard, and I established the William and Agnes Belargin Foundation to present scholarships to individuals for the excellence in practice of law or the pursuit of law. And we give these scholarships generally to high school students, but it's available to college students as well as, and even individuals applying to the various academies for law enforcement. This year, the individual that we have made are making the presentation to is Taylor Klemp. She is graduating from Otsego High School, but she could not be here today, and she has plans to pursue a career in family law. And finally, I'd just like to conclude with a couple of personal remarks, if I may. It's more difficult than I thought it was going to be suddenly, very suddenly. Our Constitution is under attack, and our civil rights laws are being used to dismantle civil liberties. Some seek to intimidate and coerce the judiciary in hopes of bending decisions and opinions to their will. The rule of law is cited to justify ignoring due process protections. The late Justice Antonin Scalia said that every tin-pot dictator has a Bill of Rights. What separates us is due process. Who is impacted by this violation of due process that we are seeing? Of course, it's the unseen. It's the poor, it's the marginalized, it's the vulnerable. But as ignoring due process becomes normalized, who then will be next? Perhaps attorneys? Some have already been targeted. Journalists? Some have already been targeted. Perhaps judges? Some too have already been targeted. What about the Constitution itself? If such foundational aspects of our constitutional rights are violated as a whim, then as Justice Scalia stated, what separates us? Today, I remark on the state of the Constitution and judiciary only. I would reflect that the rule of law applies to all, and I would argue that it applies to judges especially. The judicial canon of ethics provide that judges refrain from partisan activity, and I intend to adhere to this ethical demand for as long as I am a judge. But my conscience cries out, and I cannot and will not remain silent for the entirety of my elected term. Therefore, I have informed the governor that I intend to resign. My office as Chief Judge of the 57th District Court, effective August 1st, 2025, in order to allow her team an opportunity to seek out and appoint the best qualified individual to replace me. I'm grateful to this court, especially Carol, my court reporter and secretary, for whom their support these last 18 years have been supportive of me as my office of judge in the County of Allegan. I'm also grateful to the Allegan Bar Association and my fellow judges for their professionalism and confidence. And I also am very thankful for the love and support of my husband, Brent, who's here today. For 21 years, he's been and continues to be my appeal of last resort. Thank you.